In last week's episode, we wrapped the dogs up in bin bags and got drenched as we left a rainy Positano. We started driving north where the weather wasn't any better and stopped for the night in a gem of a place in Emilia-Romagna. The next day, the weather was even worse and a 4-hour drive turned into 8 hours. We had to abandon the car in a village, but eventually we arrived at our destination.
Sara and Luca!
We had a beautiful and sunny 2 days with Sara and Luca until it was time to set off again. Join us in this video as we leave Italy and drive through France and on to the UK.
Bye!
Ciao! We are Nicki and Carlo, and our family live in Positano, Italy, nearly 500 steps from the road, but surrounded by fruit and olive trees and with a fabulous view. Our garden overlooks the sea and we grow our own food. We show you what life is really like on the Amalfi Coast. So please subscribe and welcome to the Positano Diaries.
Okay, so the car is just a little bit frozen at the moment. I might have to warm it up before we can leave. Chiusa chiave.
No!
The door is frozen.
Detto non mettere l'acqua.
Perché si congela.
C'hai quella con l'alcol,
Sì,
con l'alcol c'è l'antigelo.
Sì, c'è l'antigelo.
L'antigelo.
Hello everywhere.
We have just left Sarah and Luca's house near Torino and we are heading on our way to England to spend Christmas with my dad.
Oggi andremo in Francia, ci fermeremo a Troyes stasera.
How long is it going to take?
7 ore e mezza.
It's quite a long drive today, so we're going to take it slowly, stop at some airs along the way so the dogs can have a run around, and we'll get there this evening.
Brr, ho freddo.
It's going to be colder there.
Yeah, lì sarà più freddo, ci aspetta -5.
We've just stopped for petrol and we're going to swap places. I'm going to drive because this could possibly be my last time ever allowed to drive in Italy. Let me explain. So a couple of years ago Brexit happened and Italy was the only European country that did not come to an agreement with the UK about the British residents' driving licences. So British residents living in Italy and their driving licences. So in any other country in Europe, a British resident can go to the driving test centre and swap their English licence for an Italian licence. But in Italy, no. I could have done it a few years ago, but I didn't realise that I had to do it. So in a way, it's my fault. But now I can't swap my licence anymore. And last year, the deadline was the end of December, and then they extended it between the UK and Italy. They're in negotiations about what to do, whether we have to retake the whole driving test, which seems very unfair because, let's face it, I've been driving in Italy for 27 years. Why do I have to suddenly retake a driving test to carry on driving here? Doesn't make sense. And also, it doesn't make sense because it basically means that on my British licence, I can drive anywhere in the world except the country that I live in. Doesn't sound fair, does it? And it's not reciprocal because there's 300,000 Italians living in Britain that can happily drive on their Italian driving licenses. So December the 31st is the cut-off point. So either December the 31st, I'm not going to be allowed to drive here anymore and we'll have to resit an Italian driving test, which I can't see myself doing, or they'll extend it again until they come to an agreement. So I'm going to drive for now because we're about to hit the French border. It's very soon, in the next hour or so, and I want to have my last experience driving in Italy.
Adesso è Nicki che sta guidando, siamo appena partiti da Sara e Luca, quindi continuiamo la nostra strada. Adesso passeremo dal Frejus, dice così? Look at the snow on the mountain.
Should we go skiing?
No, thank you.
Oh.
Yeah, but not for me.
Okay.
I want to go with you and you skiing.
I'll ski. And what are you going to do?
I wait for you when I finish.
But what will you do while you wait?
I stay in a very comfortable come si dice?
warm hotel.
Warm hotel and drink tea and.
Well, we can go and see Celine when we come back. We can go to Morzine and ski with Celine.
Yeah.
You can be the dog sitter.
Yes.
You can go for walks. There's nice walks with the dogs there. Yeah?
Ok.
Oh.
Quello va bene per me.
Ok.
Sì, sì. Già mi mancano che Sara e Luce, ovviamente. È stato davvero bello stare con loro, è stato davvero bello. Avremmo voluto stare più tempo, vero?
We are at the entrance of the Frejus tunnel, which passes through the Alps. We've been stopped by the police. They've taken all of our documents. They're controlling my driving license, and I'm wondering if they're going to come back and tell me that next week I can't drive anymore. But it's taking quite a while as well. We've been sitting here for about 10 minutes now.
È sicuro che puoi guidare un altro anno, tutto il 2023.
Well, I'm leaving Italy now, so I can drive, so that's fine.
Sì, e loro stanno facendo il loro lavoro e fanno i controlli, non so se lo sapete, ma qui in Italia ogni tanto capita che ti fermano per controllarti.
There's a lot of roadside
Sì.
police controls in Italy. Call mommy!
Sì, dopo la chiamo.
Sì.
Diciamo la chiamo stasera quando arriviamo. Troyes.
Sì, bravo.
Ok.
Ok.
And, sì, ogni tanto ti fermano qui la polizia, ti fanno dei controlli che so che in Inghilterra non fanno perché Nicki mi dice che non li fanno, li fanno solo se vedono che fai qualcosa di sbagliato. Qui invece ti controllano e basta, ogni tanto fa parte del loro lavoro controllare a casa qualcuno.
Yeah, and because we were the only car coming through, they
In
stopped
questo
us.
momento sì, sì.
When I came through in August, there was quite a big queue here, so I didn't get stopped. So I hope they hurry up though, because I need a wee. Everything was okay with the police checks. We're now in the Frejus tunnel, which means that we are crossing the border between Italy and France at some point. We don't know exactly where it is in the tunnel, but when we come out of the tunnel, we will be in France.
Sì, mi piacciono queste cose. Tu vai in un tunnel, prima di andare in un tunnel sei in un paese, poi esci dall'altra parte sei in un altro paese. Benvenuti in Francia.
And we know we're in France because our phones have just pinged with a welcome to France thing. There we go.
Sembra un cuneo di roccia.
And 1 hour later, oh well, good weather was good while it lasted.
Vedete tutta questa fila di macchine di qua? Non c'è nessun incidente lì. L'incidente era qui, su questo lato della strada. Ma siccome a questa gente piace guardare, ecco cosa è successo. Gente guarda e rimane intrappolata. Pazzesco. Ecco, questa è la fine della coda.
Who's gonna save you? Who's gonna make you not
And here we are, we have arrived safe and sound in Troyes, or Troyes, whatever you want to call it. And we are going to stop here for the night. We have got a room in an Ibis hotel, and Ibis are just really easy because they accept dogs, no problem. They've always got a car park, doesn't cost much, and the beds are always comfortable. And we've actually got quite a big room this time compared to the Ibis I had in Dol when I was driving back in August. That was the size of a shoebox, it was tiny. This is a massive spacious room, so it's brilliant, and it's a 10-minute walk to this centre of town. So we're just waiting for it to get to about 7 o'clock, and we're going to go out and have some dinner. It's currently about -5 degrees outside. Carlo's never felt that cold before. He's never been below -3, so I might have to buy him a balaclava because he says his face hurts. But yeah, we're going to go out and get some dinner and have a walk. We'll take you with us.
Ecco, la neve è finta, ma il freddo è vero, siamo a -5. Forse per un canadese sarà pochissimo, ma per me sto ghiacciando.
you're ready to go. Should we go see Grandad today? They do have another seat there, but they seem to like sitting together, all squished up. Don't you, babies?
We are back in the car. We're leaving Troyes and we're heading towards Calais. So we're going to get the Eurotunnel, which is the only way we can get across with the doggies.
Continua su D610 per 2 km.
It's a cold, frosty morning.
-4 adesso.
It's currently -5 degrees outside. Carlo's never felt that cold before. I think -3 is his maximum. Should we open the windows and get some fresh air in here?
Va bene, amore. Stai attento che vuoi il telefono.
And we have arrived at Calais. Let's go check in the poochies. Okay, let's go check in.
Siamo saliti.
From snow in Italy to icy cold in France to rain in England.
A lot of rain. Che tempo di merda.
What's happening? You need to know, I need to be abreast of what's going on. So that's happening, but if
Wow, siamo arrivati!
Woohoo!
Wow.
Glad you've had a good trip.
Hello, Harry!
Hello, mate. How are you? I'm fine. What's all these animals? Yeah. Hey. Hey, you.
Ellie! Say hello to Grandad.
Come on.
Ellie!
Hey. I know you will, won't you? You will. Yes. Hey, Ollie. Hey. Hey. Oh, good girl.
Cosy. Go on, visit. Visit.
Da quando siamo arrivati abbiamo trovato un tempo incredibilmente brutto, pioveva in continuazione e adesso oggi è il primo giorno che finalmente c'è il sole.
He makes it sound like we've been here for about a month. We've been here for one day. So yesterday we arrived the day before and it was raining. Yesterday it rained all day. Today it's blue sky and we're going out for a walk.
Yeah.
This is where Indy came swimming in August and the river's really, really high now. In fact, we've just met somebody who said it's flooded on the other side of the bridge. So we're going to go and see if we can get past or not.
Ok, andiamo a
But it
vedere.
looks pretty, yeah, pretty, it's about 3 times as wide as it normally is.
C'è un sacco di acqua, io non l'ho mai visto così. Quella è acqua laggiù.
It's another river. It's really deep. Here you go. Oh, it's not too bad. But you can't go, you've got shoes on.
No, dove vado io?
No, you're not going down there.
Io non penso che possa andare con queste scarpe.
Vabbè, perché non è professionale.
Ok. Proviamo da un altro lato? Andiamo di là, dai.
Yeah. Come on,
Di là.
this way, let's go find squirrels. Where is it? Get it.
Sì, Indy ha visto uno scoiattolo qua su sull'albero. Cosa state facendo?
Indy!
Sei legato all'albero adesso. Oddio.
Got ya.
Questo è il nuovo reparto. Quando sono venuto qua la prima volta, quando? 7 anni fa.
10.
Qui tuo padre sta già da 10 anni.
Sì.
Ok, 10 anni fa qui non c'era niente, non c'era nemmeno una tomba. E poi piano piano, insomma, ce n'è molto di più adesso. Adesso Nicki mi sta portando a vedere dove c'è. Lei dice che c'è una signora bellissima. Ovviamente per questione di privacy non vi facciamo vedere il nome. Devo dire la verità, è davvero bella, sembra un'attrice.
So if you're wondering, we don't have squirrels in the Amalfi Coast. There's no squirrels at all in that area of Italy. There are squirrels in Italy, but not in our area. And there's a lot here. So for them, it's like a moving toy. I mean, it's just something to chase.
Non c'è niente di più bello di fare una passeggiata qua quando c'è il sole. E oggi è fantastico. Dai, oggi mi piace tanto. Oggi è davvero bello.
It is the 23rd of December and I've just had a message, and the best Christmas present that I could have possibly hoped for has arrived 2 days before Christmas. Listen to this. This is on the UK government website. World news story: UK, Italy sign agreement on exchange of driving licenses. The UK and Italy have today signed an agreement on the exchange of driving licenses without the need to take a test. Woohoo! Means I can still drive, which means I can go shopping. It means I can come back to Italy. It means I can go and visit Celine if I want in Tuscany, and I can just still drive in Italy. Because the other problem is, up until now, I haven't been even able to accept any makeup work out of Positano for next summer because I wasn't sure if I would be able to get to Sorrento or Amalfi or Ravello, because if this agreement hadn't have gone through, I wouldn't have been able to drive there. So up until now, I've had to refuse all makeup jobs, which means I've lost quite a bit of work for next summer, but that's fine because it means I can still drive. Ready? Sit, 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 go.
Ragazzi, oggi è Natale. So che magari questo pezzettino di video non lo vedrete mai, oppure se lo vedete Natale sarà passato da un pezzo. Comunque buon Natale a tutti voi. Stiamo facendo una passeggiata nel bosco ed è bello. Questa è la cosa che mi piace di più in Inghilterra: camminare nei boschi o comunque in un posto piatto, diritto.
Last week we mentioned that we had printed and sold 150 copies of my recipe and storybook. Due to high demand, I ordered another 200 copies and put them up for sale via Instagram. They sold out in 2 hours. We were so surprised. I sold them via Instagram just because it was easy and immediate. If I'd sold them on YouTube, many people would not have seen the video maybe until days or weeks later. So I'm sorry to anybody that does not have Instagram and has missed out. I thought I'd order more and just keep going until everyone was happy, but I didn't factor in the amount of work that it has been. I spent most of Christmas signing books and addressing and stuffing envelopes. Then we had to sort them into countries, put them into boxes, number them and take them to the post office out of hours.
Good morning. It is 6:30 in the morning, and last night I took the nearly 400 books to the post office at 6 o'clock. He said bring them at 6 and we could process them at 6. We were there for 3 hours, sitting on the floor in the post office, which is not heated. It was so cold in there. Missed dinner, and I basically spent that time sticking on the printed out stamps onto all of the envelopes with the books in it. And we had to do it country by country and count each one. So it's a bit of a long drawn out process. And I was so happy when we finished and we did the last one. And then he said, now you need to write out customs forms for all of them. And I nearly cried. He gave me this huge roll of sticky customs forms. He said, go home and do it. Bring them back before 7 o'clock in the morning. We wrote out 170 customs forms by hand, and I'm now taking them to the post office, and I hope we've done enough, because if not I'm going to have to sit on the floor in that freezing cold post office and write out more, and I'm probably going to have to stay there anyway and stick them all on. So that's what I'm doing now. I don't think I'm going to be printing any more of these books. It's not really been worth my while, because also the postage turned out to be way more than I'd estimated. So yeah, it just all costs a bit more, so I sort of lost out on that, and it was just much more time consuming than I presumed it was going to be. Here we go, the only place open this early in the morning. Just going to show these.
I'm not going to be doing this again, so if you still want a printed version, how about this? Order an ebook from my website and print out the recipe pages at home. In the US, you can apparently take it to your local FedEx or Kinko's and get it spiral bound with a cover for less than the shipping cost that you'd be paying me.
We have done it, finally. It is now, what time is it? It is 20 to 8, and we have put customs labels on all of them. We've had to write at least another 50, but we're done, and I'm now going to leave the post office.
Don't get me wrong, I am incredibly grateful and overwhelmed by the amount of people that rushed to buy these books. It was such a surprise for us. This is why we didn't really plan all the packaging and labelling and didn't really think about the stamps and the customs forms, because I didn't think I was going to sell any. So I was incredibly overwhelmed when I sold nearly 400 just like that without even trying, and of course incredibly unprepared. But thank you everybody who did buy the book, and yes, don't forget that if you still want one, you can pick up an ebook and you could print it out. The recipes are actually in order in the first half of the book, so if you did want to print out just the recipes, you just choose the pages. I think, let's say for example, page 8 to page 78, I can't remember what numbers exactly, but you can just print off those pages, which saves you wasting ink on all the photos that are in the book. And you could get that bound or just put it in a folder. So thank you so much for all of the people that bought the book. And it's New Year's Eve today, so it's an incredibly miserable, rainy, windy New Year's Eve. We haven't left the house at all. In fact, I'm still in my pyjamas. And I think it's going to stay that way. If it stops raining, we'll go out for a walk, whether it's dark or not, I know that, but it doesn't look like it's going to stop. And we're going to be having a very quiet New Year's Eve. We've got no plans at all. I'll probably be in bed by 10:30, knowing me, because I'm quite tired from the last few days, and I've had a headache for a couple of days as well, so it's going to be a quiet one. Anyhow, I hope you all have a wonderful New Year's Eve. I hope you all have a much more exciting New Year's Eve than I'm going to have. And I hope you have a great next year as well. And we will see you carrying on our adventures in 2023. We've got a few things planned, starting with, of course, our trip back to Italy in the next week or so. Thank you for watching. See you next year. Bye.